I'm preparing comfrey oil for myself to make some comfrey salve, which is a popular thing in my family, that they use it for many things. They use it from everything from skin rashes, dogs' hot spots, chafing on the legs. So I try to have a supply of this on a regular basis. And through the year, I might actually go through and harvest my comfrey leaves, dry them, and stick those leaves as I harvest them in a jar. And I have a glass, canning jar, and put the lid on it and stash it in a dark, cool place. I use, when I'm making the comfrey salve and making the oil, I use kind of a neutral oil, I kind of prefer a nut oil. There's not a strong scent to it. I like using the almond oil. It's very readily available. There's a lot of it. I can get it not only on Amazon. I can a lot of times find it in the grocery store. You can use hazelnut, coconut. You can use whatever you want to use when it comes to the oil. I tend to just prefer to have it not be a strong oil. Coconut will have a coconut smell. Not that there's any problem with that. I tend to not use the olive oil. Again, it's a strong oil, but you can use the oil you prefer, but I tend to like to use what I call a neutral oil. It is a good carrier oil, and that means that when you put the oil on, it doesn't really stay on the surface entirely. It actually goes into the skin and permeates and actually takes the properties of these herbs and actually will help benefit and go into the skin. So we have the carrier oil. I actually have put the leaves I've been saving, and once I got them in here, I actually poured this in and covered them, and I heated the water up. But I don't want to boil it. You do not want to boil it. You don't want to burn your leaves. I just brought it up enough that I could see that it was getting hot. Either it might, this oil doesn't smoke so much, as you can see that it's starting that heat, preparing to boil, but not. I just want to get it to be a warm, very warm oil. So I put that in, and after I boiled it and I saw how it looked, I felt I wanted more plant matter. So knowing that I had some transplants that I haven't put in the ground, I have some that have actually planted, but I had some others I actually harvested some leaves off of those. Took them in the house, I washed them, I dried them, I put them on a pan, on parchment paper, something that kind of helps keep it off the metal, and I turned the heat in my oven down to 170, which is the lowest it'll go. Once it heated up, I actually put the pan in the oven, set the timer for 5 minutes, and after 5 minutes I shut the heat off the oven. Then I brought those leaves up here and added them. But when I added them, this had already cooled down. The oil was cool, and I needed to kind of bring that up to temperature again. So once we put the new plant matter in, we heated it up, did the same thing. Don't let it get very hot. You don't want to boil it. You don't want to burn it. And then just turned it off and put a lid on it. And we will let this sit overnight. Tomorrow I'll strain the plant matter out of here and put that oil back into this bottle, because it's a good bottle to store it in until I'm ready to use it. I now have things measured out. I have lanolin, which is about 35 grams for this, and also the beeswax is around 35 grams. I have adjusted it to make, when I make salves, when I want it firmer or softer. I also have vitamin E and various essential oils. In this case, I have some myrrh, cypress, and cedar. I also have it this melted. This is the comfrey oil, and I have it mixed with the almond oil. I'm going to be melting this in And then as it starts to cool down, I will put in the vitamin E and the essential oils. I never put the essential oils in when it is hot, really hot. So that's where we go next. Okay, so I have lanolin in here along with beeswax. It's in a double boiler type of thing to get ready for the Comfrey Salve. In the salve, there's just oils, beeswax, lanolin. There is no water like it's in the lotion. So I'm going to try to get this kind of melted as much as possible. Beeswax is a little bit difficult to get melted. It takes a lot more is involved. Now that I've put all the different vitamin E and all the essential oils in here, it's cooled down. You can see that with the lanolin and the beeswax, it's kind of thickening up. As it cools down, it'll kind of gray and turn into a salve. So I'll let it keep cooling down, and then I just every once in a while stir it so that it does, it kind of solidifies. It's still going to be soft, but it'll firm up equally. So here we are. Okay, so there is the Comfrey Salve. I will end up getting some more containers later. This is what I have, these 3-ounce bottles. And then what I had left goes into the original bottle.